Hey everyone, my name is Pritam and watching Tech with Pri. Welcome to my channel and I'm back with another exciting technical video. And this is the fourth video of our newly created series, ServiceNow integrations. So we have already learned the concept of web service integration, what is REST, what are the different components of REST, ServiceNow integration, and finally in the last video I've shown you how you can create a REST message so that you can connect with an external web service from your ServiceNow. We have understood each and every component of the REST message practically in ServiceNow, right? Also, we have passed the API key and different query parameter to get the result from the external web service, right? And we were able to test it also and it was working fine. So now you have got an idea how you can connect with an external application using the REST message, right? Now in today's video, it's gonna be very interesting, guys. In today's video, we are going to continue after that part. If you missed the last video, again go ahead and watch the video, otherwise you won't be able to understand this part. Okay, so the link is there in the description and also you can find the link here on your screen. Okay, so what we are going to do today, we have a REST message already created and we were able to test it with the external web service, right? We were getting the information based on the IP address, given IP address. So that was not dynamic, right? So we want that there would be a table in ServiceNow. In that table, when we'll specify a particular IP address, okay, then other fields will automatically fill up. Like for an example, if I give IP address and as 8.8.8.8, okay, that's a Google DNS, then there would be a field called city that would automatically filled up. There would be a field called country automatically filled up, okay, like this. So that's gonna be very interesting. And then whenever I'll change the IP address and then again save the form, then automatically those values will change. So we will see today how we are going to achieve this. And trust me, when you will apply it in your PDI, you would get a great confidence on ServiceNow outbound REST integration. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the video. So make sure you watch the full video. Okay. So today we don't have any PPT. Directly we'll jump into the ServiceNow where we are building our custom application and we will continue doing it. And we will see how we can achieve the use case that we are going to do. Okay. Let's go. All right. So I'm in my PDI. So already you can see our application scope is selected as IP lookup. So that was the one we have created in the last video. So I'll open the same in the studio. So first I'm going to studio. So this is our application. We are working IP lookup. So I'm going to open it. Okay. So only we have the REST message as of now that we have created. And we are going to just go through it once more. So that's the endpoint. That's the base endpoint that we have used. And this is our default get method. By which we were getting the information from this endpoint. And also to get the information, we had to use a API key, right? I have shown you how you can get the API key from the external web service. And we have sent the API key in this way in the HTTP query parameters. Okay, so that was the condition was mentioned in the API documentation that we have to pass it through the query parameters. So we have done that API key. Also, we have passed the IP address for which we are going to get the result. And also we specified with a field city. So firstly we test it with normally IP address, so we are getting all the information. If we want any specific information, again we have used another HTTP query parameter fields and we have asked the value city. So here if I click on test again, you can see I'm only getting the city, that is a Mountain View for this IP address, all the Google DNS. Okay. So now all these things we have understood, like auto-generate variables. I told you that is for the variable substitution. Okay, that we are not doing in this use case, but that is also very useful. I told you, right? So here you can directly mention, a variable name and the value you will mention here. So it will replace it. So next we have the preview script usage. So that's we are going to see how beneficial it is. And next we are going to see the HTTP log level. Okay. Now, what is this HTTP log level? Let's discuss about this because this is something I told you in the last video because the video was already too long. I didn't want to stretch it anymore. So because we are going to learn it right now. Okay. So whenever I'm going to click on test, you already seen I'm getting the result, right? Now, if I want to know more about the result or more about the output. Okay. So for an example, let me try something. Let me remove this endpoint and let me save it here. So this time I'm gonna try to run. Let's see what happens. You can see it's a 404 method failed. Okay, and 404 means we know that not found, so the URL was not found. If you watch the response, you are getting a better understanding. So that was a one way. Now if we want to get it in a more deeper way to check the error, to understand the error, then we can set up the HTTP log level. Okay, so what is this? If you click on it, so there are three options. Either you can set the log level as basic or elevated or all. Okay, the all will give you more information than elevated and basic. Elevated will give you more information than basic. Okay, so this is how it works. So we're gonna test it. So first with basic, I'm gonna click on test. It was already basic, so already I'm getting the error, and I'm gonna go back. Okay, this time I'm gonna set the log level as elevated. Click on OK, set to elevated, and then I'm gonna click on test again. Okay, good. And finally I'm gonna click on the HTTP log level to all. I'm gonna click on OK again, and I'm gonna run it. So every time I'm changing the log level and I'm running the test so that you can see the different result. So how we are gonna check it? So here in the all section, we have to search for the outbound. You can see outbound HTTP request under the system logs. Okay, if I go there, you can see this is the last three we have run. So if we just open it, so this is with the most information. This is the last one we have, right? You can see log level is all, so we can get the source, system ID, session ID, all this information we are getting, application scope, more information you are getting. What is the URL? You can see whenever we are sending clicking the test button, this is the actually construction of the URL, right? So this is up to application IO, then API key we have sent, then the field, city, and the IP address, IP8, all this information we have sent. Okay, however this is the wrong one, so it should be IP geo. Okay, you can see request headers, what is the header is going, and request body, it only supports for post, put, and patch method. If I go to the response, you are getting more idea about the error. So again we have the response body 404 error not found, and then you have the other information, log level information. Same way, if I go to the next record, where you would see the log level is elevated, so we don't have the response body here. We have little less information than the all one. Okay, and if I go to the basic one, basic HTTP log level, so you can see in the response errors, response body is nothing in the request as well. So we have something in the source, few things, and you can see log level is basic, right? Even the URL has not constructed fully in the basic level. So again, if you want to take a deep dive on debugging part, HTTP debugging part, then you need to set it as elevated or all. Okay, so that's all about the HTTP log level. Now we are going to work on the use case. Very importantly, we have to understand this. Here we are REST message we have created, right? And this is a HTTP method, and we are running from it here. Clicking on test button and it is working, right? If I want to make it dynamic, first of all, what I need to do is that I need to write a script for that, right? Because here only I can test the REST message, it is working fine or not. With the HTTP request headers, query parameter here we are using, right? But I have already shown you in the last video that what are the different places where you can use the response data. So whenever you are sending the test, you are getting a response body, right? So if I again click on test to show you, so this is the response body we are getting, right? So okay, let me fix it first. So let's make it IP geo again, and I'm gonna replace the specific field. So I want the all results. So again, let me click on update. Okay, now let me run it. So I'm gonna click on test again. So you can see this is the whole response I'm getting from the external web service, and this response is coming in the JSON format. You can see, right? So already we are testing successfully from the REST message itself that it is getting the response 200, right? That's okay. Now how we are going to use this return response, how we can display it in a particular field in a table in ServiceNow, how we are going to do that, that's something we are going to see now. And also, not only that, also how we can provide dynamic value. Okay, as a query parameter we are going to send dynamic value for this example, and the response will change according to that. Now we have to play with this response or the return. Already in the last video I have shown you how you can use the response body in different ServiceNow configuration, like business rule, you can use it in a script include, UI action, notifications, many places, right? That's something we are going to do it in today's video. All right, so now first of all, if I click on here, preview script usage, let's understand it very clearly. So we are getting the auto-generated scripting for this IP lookup REST message. You can see preview REST message script usage. So what it is doing, let's understand step by step. Under the try block, we are declaring a variable called R equal to new sn underscore ws, okay, dot REST message v2. Okay, so it's quite seems like where gr equal to new glide record, that's what we do. So this REST message v2 is nothing but the API or the JavaScript class, and that has a lot of different methods that would help us to connect with the external web service and also get the response and do a lot of things. So this particular API REST message v2 is used for the web services, and it accepts two parameter. So first, the name of the REST message. So this is our REST message name is already, you know, we have created here. You can see this is the name of the REST message IP lookup. Okay, before we have the scope name, right, that we already know. Then what is the method I'm using here? Default get. So that is the method I'm using, default get. Now you may ask me, Pritam, then what is this SNWS? So like when we use glide record, we don't need to mention something like that SN underscore WS. We directly type new glide record, right? So what is this SNWS? SN underscore WS. So guys, this SN underscore WS is nothing but it's a namespace, a particular namespace under which this JavaScript class actually exists. Namespace is a concept in JavaScript where you can store similar type of methods, class. Okay. So in ServiceNow, there is a namespace called global namespace under which all glide record, glide system, all this JavaScript class or the APIs are there. So when you are calling them, you directly define that. You don't need to mention a particular namespace because it already exists in the global namespace. But for REST message v2, it exists in the sn underscore ws namespace. So if I remove that, if I directly call new REST message v2, then while running it, ServiceNow won't understand that from where this REST message v2 JavaScript class or API is coming, because we have not mentioned the namespace. When you mention sn underscore ws, ServiceNow understand, okay, so there is a namespace called sn underscore ws. In there, it is asking for the REST message v2 class. Okay, so that's why we need to mention the namespace so that it understands that we are looking for a JavaScript class named REST message v2 under the SNWS, and SNWS stands for ServiceNow Web Service. Okay, so next time when you see this line, don't make a confusion. It's very simple. So this first line is totally clear for us. Okay. Now there are many things which are under the comment. You can see the authentication type level. If we want to update the authentication, okay, authentication we are already configuring it, right? In the in here, there is no authentication right now, so we are already configuring it here, right? If you want to override, then you need to declare that. It's same like here, right? If I just close it, authentication type we can override. In the same way, in the scripting also you can override. Now here, nothing you can edit. This is auto-generated field. We are going to use the script, and we were going to add some more script to fulfill our use case in the business truth. Okay, so we'll get into that, don't worry, just stay with me. Then we have some mid server information, all is in comment. Okay, now very important section is here. We are declaring a variable named response equal to r.execute. So r is this variable where we are storing the whole REST API. Okay, r.execute means we are asking to run this REST API. It's similar like clicking the test button, and here we are running it. Okay, then where response body, again another variable, it's storing response.getBody. So response means already response is now holding the executing result of the REST API. That means it is already holding the response body, because after execution it returns the response body, right? You have seen, and the response code also. So in two variables, in the first variable response body, we are only storing the response body. So response.getBody, we're only storing the response body, and this is another variable HTTP status where we are storing the status code. You can see response.getStatus code. So getBody and getStatus code, it's a method under the REST message v2 API. Okay, very simple, same like glide record. Glide record has a different purpose. This REST message v2 class has a different. So if this try block returning any error, we are storing it in the ex in the message variable. So you can see ex.message. So we are getting the message from the error. All right. This is the whole explanation of this script usage part. First of all, we can copy this. We are going to need that. Let me close it. So now, as per our use case, we need to create a table as well, right? In that table, we are going to create some fields where one of the field will be IP address for sure, and there would be other fields as well. So right now, again, I'm in the external service, which we have already connected, right, with this API key. So this is my dashboard section of the external service that we have connected last day. Okay. And if I click on the documentation part, and if I click on IP geolocation API, so default we are getting this, all the result. Okay. Now fine, I'm gonna back to studio, and here I'm gonna create a new table, and the table would be IP, maybe, I don't know, sorry. So I'm gonna click on create button. All right. So the label of the table should be IP details maybe. Okay. So the name will auto popular. Okay, our scope name and the table name, and new menu name, all this fine. I'm directly clicking on submit. So we'll have all the default 6 fields that automatically comes when you create a new table. So here I'm gonna add few fields. First of all, the enter your IP. So it will ask to enter the IP. So it should be a string field. Okay. And we can get the limit maybe 50. It's fine. Next, what we need is that what information we need? We need maybe the country. So country code 3 will give the full country name, country, right? So I'm gonna type country. Again, it would be a string. Let's make it 200 this time. Then we are gonna get the city, right? City. So string 100. Let's add 2 more fields. So maybe we are gonna get the currency. Okay, again string. Okay, and finally we can add also the time zone, right? Again, you can explore with any number of fields. So time zone, string, done. So our fields are created. So I'm gonna click on update. In the meantime, I need to, so let me go back to the home, and IP not created yet. So let me directly go with the table name. Okay, dot list. Yes, so the table is created, IP details. So this is the table, and these are the fields that I have added. So if I'm gonna click on new, enter your IP, currency, time zone spelling is not correct. So let me quickly do a form layout. So this is the form design. So here I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna change the name label, time zone. Okay. And the currency and the country should be here. Enter your IP address should be here. Okay, actually what we can do is that we can make this as well together. So make it a 2 column. Let's add currency here, time zone here, country here, and the city here as well. Okay, and just close all these things, we don't need it. So I'm gonna click on save now. So let's see how it is looking. If I refresh it, that's it. So we are gonna put the IP here, we're gonna save the record, and automatically this field will fill up. Again, we are gonna change the IP, this field will again change. So that is our use case, right? So let's go back to the ServiceNow Studio. Now for that, whenever I am saving the record, that means whenever I'm inserting the record or updating the record, then only these changes are happening. So that means we have to create a business rule. So I'm going to go to ServiceNow Studio. I'm going to click the application file, and here under server development, we have business rule. I'm going to create a new business rule. Already you have seen in my ServiceNow development series, I have used the studio only, right, to develop the custom application from scratch, right? All right. So I'm going to name it as get IP details, something like that. So the table would be IP details. Okay, this is the table IP details, advanced, and the condition, and here it should be async. Okay, always remember, whenever we are going to use a business rule for web service, it should be always async. That's what ServiceNow recommends. Okay. So we have selected async business rule. If you have no idea on how async business rule works and what is all about, then you can watch this business rule video to get the idea. Okay. So now I'm gonna do it for insert and for update as well. Now I'm gonna go to the advanced section where we are gonna write the script. Okay. Let me make it as a full screen so that you can understand it clearly. I hope it's visible now. Now here I'm gonna go to the our IP this where is the message REST message, and I'm gonna use the preview script usage. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one. I copied already. I'm not sure whether it was there or not. So I am going into the business rule and I'm gonna paste it here. And let me remove this all comment part. So it is calling the REST message, our REST message, and the method, right? Now if I go to our REST message, if I close it, already I am sending here the API key and the IP address, right? This information already we are sending in the query parameters. So if we want to override it, then we will define it in the script. So now API key, we are not going to change anything. This is the one we have got from the external website. But the IP address would be changed. Actually, it would be dynamic. So based on whatever user is going to type here, it would take the value and update it accordingly. So let me go to the business rule. Firstly, let me go to the table and let's see the field name. The field name is enter underscore your underscore IP. So let's close this one, ServiceNow Studio. So here, how we can override a query parameter or set a query parameter. So directly, again, we have a method for that. That is the r dot set query parameter. Okay, set query parameter, and the parameter name is that we are going to do is the IP, right? So for IP, I'm gonna send current, then enter your IP. What was that? Enter underscore your IP. So enter underscore your underscore IP. So instead of directly providing 8.8.8.8, here I'm gonna provide it based on my choice dynamically. So that's why I'm gonna pass this current dot enter your IP. Okay, that's the query parameter I'm sending. Okay, and when we send an IP address, we get all the result, all the different result, like all this information we are gonna get, right? Now out of which what we require is the country, city, currency, and time zone. Now we're gonna see how we're gonna do that. So now after we get the response, we are storing it into the response body, HTTP status is done. Here I'm gonna add a new variable, and the variable name would be response object. Now I'm going to convert the return JSON which is storing in this response body, because response body is storing the response.get body, and the format of the response body is this JSON format, right? Now we have to convert it into the object so that we can use it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to call JSON dot per se, and here response body. So I'm already converting it to the object. Now what we are going to do, very important, is that now we are going to set the value for different field here. So first of all is the country. So name of the field is country. So I'm going to go here, then current dot country equal response object. Okay, dot. Now we are storing this thing as an object. So I need the value for country code 3. Code 3. Okay. Next, current dot. Let's see what we have is the city. City, again response object dot, the name is city. Next we have the currency and time zone. Now again current equal to, now for currency, if I check here under currency we have the name. That's what we're looking for, right? The name, or the code USD is also fine, we can check it, but we can use it name as well as symbol can be used. So I'm going to use the name. So how I'm going to use it? So first I'm going to give response object dot currency. Okay, I've gone to this point currency, and then we need the name. So it's like a dot work. So I'm going to get the name of the currency. That's it. Same would be for the time zone. So okay, the name of it is time ZON, Remember that we changed the label, but the name we can't change it. Time zone, ZON. And here we are going to provide time underscore zone first. So equal to response object dot time underscore zone dot, we need the time zone, so name is fine. So again I'm gonna give name. That's it. Then I'm gonna update the record because it will save in the database, right? We are doing it business rule, so I'm gonna use current dot update here. Okay, that's it, semicolon. Our business rule is ready. So let me save it. So here under the IP we are passing the IP address in the query parameter, and the response we are storing in the response body. Then we are converting it to the JSON per se into the object. Then we are calling it country code 3 city, based on our need. So now let me test that. It's time for test, guys. So I'm gonna refresh it. So I'm gonna just type let's test with 8.8.8 first, and then we are gonna test it also with other IPs. So I'm gonna save it. Let's see. So nothing is coming. Okay, so now if I again save, you see we are getting the result. Now why I need to save it twice, I'm gonna come to that. First let's see whether we are getting the result or not. So for 8.8.8 we are getting the country as US, city is Mountain View, currency is US dollar, and it is following the America Los Angeles time. So now let's get some free IP. So this is a website where we have some IP addresses for some different location. We can test it with this. So let's try with something in the Germany. So in this IP address location is Germany. So I'm gonna come here in our table, which is working fine as of now. Let me click on save, and this data should be updated. You can see this data, it gets updated. Country DU, Frankfurt, Euro, Berlin time zone, currency is Euro. Okay. Let me try with the South Africa this time. Okay, so let me try with that. Save it, and it is changed to Cape Town, Johannesburg. Now if I want to get back to the 8.8.8 that we have started with, that gets back to that, automatically it is change back to this. Now there is one thing. So you see on the beginning, whenever we are entering a new record, so we had to refresh it twice, okay, to get the data. So again, maybe if I try with a new record, let's try with a new record. Again we are gonna, okay, maybe we can use some IP address from here. So this is from Thailand, Bangkok, this IP. So I'm gonna enter it, I'm gonna save it. Let's see, it comes automatically. Okay, it took a refresh and it comes automatically. Again, let's try with something else. So sometimes you may see that you have to refresh it twice, like I have to do it for the first time. After that, everything is working smooth. So if that something happens with you, now see, this time I have changed this IP address 43204, this one, this one. This should be redirecting to India Mumbai location, but it's still not updated. Right now, if I'm gonna again save it, let's see, it comes. So sometime it happens, and why it is happening? Because it is now following a synchronous way, not an asynchronous way. So just you need to do a small change. Instead of r.execute, you can just type r.execute async. This will do it asynchronously. So again I'm gonna test with some China this time. IP updated. I'm gonna click on save. You can see it is changed. It took few seconds and it automatically changes. Also, let's quickly again go back to maybe this time Japan. So for Japan, this IP, and we're gonna update it and we're gonna save it. It would update automatically. Okay, now let's go back to our main 8.8.8.8. You can see it's updated. If you use asynchronous, 99% of time it would automatically fetch the data and show you like this after waiting for few seconds. And in the synchronous, I have seen sometimes I have to refresh for twice already, which I've already shown you, right? Now you can see this record we are extracting from an external web service in our ServiceNow table. That's why integration is getting more popular. You can connect ServiceNow with external web services. So this is just a basic example. You can connect with any external API and you can fetch the data in this way. Okay. Now, I hope the concept is very clear, guys, and please practice it in your PDI so that you can understand each and every concept in detail. Now, after this video, I'm going to upload 2 videos for the members for special use case. So as I mentioned already in my introduction video, first we are going to do the weather API. We are going to use the weather API. So in the same way, we are going to give location here and all the weather details would automatically come here. That would be my next video that I'm going to upload for the members. Also, I'm thinking to show you how you can connect with ServiceNow and Salesforce. Okay, you'll create a record in ServiceNow, automatically record will be created in Salesforce. That is something I'm still working on, but that would be coming for the members. If you want to explore this too, Outbound REST integration with me, join the member community. It's a very minimal subscription that you need to pay. If you don't want it, then absolutely fine. Okay. So this is it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed and you have learned these things and you are going to practice in your PDI. Again, I'm saying that is very, very important to understand. Okay. So again, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and families so that it can reach out to many people. See you in my next video. Bye bye. Take care.